Hey Mustangs, in this video we're going to take a look at the basics of photosynthesis. So I'd like to start with this picture here because I think it kind of sums everything up. If you take a look at it here on the left hand side, we have the things that you need for photosynthesis to occur. So we have light energy, carbon dioxide, water. Carbon dioxide gets pulled in from the air into the leaves. Water gets absorbed through the roots. And then on the right side here we have the products, the things that are made from photosynthesis. So we have carbohydrates or sugars, in this case we're looking at glucose, and then oxygen that gets released. Okay. Another way of looking at this, again, here's what's needed: sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, and what is made: oxygen and glucose. Alright, so let's take a look at the equation for photosynthesis now. Photosynthesis is a chemical process where plants make their food. So whenever we're talking about a chemical process, many times we're talking about a chemical reaction. So in this chemical reaction, we're going to take a look at what's needed and then what's made. So if you remember, in a chemical reaction, on the left hand side you have the reactants. You have the arrow that says that a chemical reaction is taking place. Chemical bonds are being broken, new bonds are being formed, and then on the right hand side you have the products. Okay, so that's our basics of a chemical reaction. So here in photosynthesis, we're going to write our reactants on this side, products on the other. So for photosynthesis we have carbon dioxide, plus water, now when you're thinking about the equation for photosynthesis, really think about what plants need, what plants can't do without. For plants, carbon dioxide is like oxygen for human beings. Okay, so plants cannot do without carbon dioxide. Second, think about what happens if you don't water a plant. The plant's going to die. Okay, so carbon dioxide and water are the two things that plants must have. And then over the arrow we're going to put light. Now there's a few ways that you can write this. Sometimes people will write it as carbon dioxide plus water plus light. Here we're going to put light over the arrow since it's the energy that's needed as part of this reaction. Alright, on the right hand side we're going to write down what's made. So on the right hand side here, the whole point of photosynthesis is to make the plant's food, which in this case we're going to focus on glucose. And remember, glucose, carbohydrate, and when we first talked about energy in living things, we said that plants are autotrophs. They're the only ones that could capture the sun's energy and make food. So in this case, glucose is the molecule that captures the sun's energy. And then the second product is oxygen. Okay, so this is what we call our word equation. Alright, you're also going to need to know the chemical equation. Now for the chemical equation, we just have to write the chemical forms of these words here. So think about the chemical formula for carbon dioxide. You should say it's CO2. Now in our chemical equation here, it's actually what we're looking at is our balanced chemical equation. So I'm going to put in parentheses balanced. So here we can't just write the chemical formulas, we also have to add how many of each of these molecules that we're going to need. So in photosynthesis we're going to need 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus, well, water. If you think about the chemical formula for water, it's H2O. And again, we have to say how many water molecules we're going to need. So in this case, we're going to say 6 water molecules. Now you should see a magic number popping up here. 6. So 6 is going to be the magic number in our equation here. So 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules. I'm going to write our arrow. Remember, the arrow is saying that these reactants are going to be broken apart and rearranged. So the chemical bonds are going to be broken and new bonds are going to be formed in the presence of light energy. And on this side, glucose. So we're going to bring that straight down here. Glucose. To remember glucose, remember CHO. So write capital C, capital H, capital O. So CHO. And remember, our magic number is 6. So for glucose, it contains 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. So the shortcut to remembering glucose is just simply CHO 6 12 6. Okay, so that's it. CHO 6 12 6. And you have to make sure you put these in subunits like this, where it's below the 6, below the 8. Below the C, below the H, below the O, for it to be written correctly. And finally, at the end here for oxygen, chemical formula for oxygen. Well, oxygen likes to pair up with another oxygen molecule, so we write it as O2. And our magic number, once again, how many oxygen molecules are going to be made? 6. Okay, so this is our word equation. Here's our chemical equation, and you're going to need to know both. And what we're going to be doing is going a little bit more in depth and looking at the process of photosynthesis broken down to its 2 main steps. So make sure you go over the equations and know them by next class.